Hey, good morning. Welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before, my name is Todd Coons, and this is a channel where we do all things photography. Well, not maybe all things, but all things that I do photography. We talk about a lot of things here. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you've not been here before, like I said, welcome to the channel. This morning, I am back in the studio doing a portfolio piece, which is probably, as you know, one of my favorite places to be. I love being in the studio, and when I'm doing a portfolio piece, that means that I'm doing something that is just going to be a beautiful photograph that I'm going to use for my website, for social media, just different ways in which to promote myself. So it's not just a straightforward, boring shot. It is going to be something hopefully a little over the top and a little bit pretty. Now, if you've been to the channel before, you know that a lot of times the way I get my props and my subject matter when I go to photograph things like this, it's something that I've purchased, maybe a new pair of shoes, or recently I did a pair of sunglasses that I bought. This particular time, I have got this gift, and I've got to be a little bit quiet because my son is upstairs. I've been wanting to get this thing for my son for a while. A couple of Christmases ago, I had an idea to get him this, and I just have never done it, and I finally just said to myself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to purchase this thing. My son's a little bit into culinary things. It's not something he wants to do for a living, but he likes to be in the kitchen. He likes to cook. And every good chef needs a knife, right? So I have purchased this knife that I want to give to my son because we have knives in the house, but we don't have a really good cutting knife. And, you know, since he's into that kind of thing, I thought it'd be nice if he had his own. But of course, before I give it to him, we're going to take a photograph. Now this knife is pretty awesome. I mean, I'm not a chef, but this thing's pretty massive. Now, the goal today, shiny metal object, neat photograph of this knife, and then I have a secondary goal, and that's not to cut any fingers off. Now, one of the things when it comes to a shot like this that I've got to pull together is props, a background, what we're going to set this knife on, what we're going to prop around it. And I'll admit to you guys that I have a somewhat of an unfair advantage in this house that I live in and the wife that I have, because she has collected things over the years that we've been together, whether they were handed down from family or whether we got them ourselves. But let me show you a little bit as far as my house is concerned, the things that I have to pull from. As you can see, my house is full of antiques. There's a wire basket, there's, you know, I've got all kinds of, you know, wood chair. Let me show you the butler's pantry here real quick. Let me just, all the little things, you know, cans, bowls. This old scale has been used for a shot before. This is how my wife decorates the house, and so from a prop standpoint, things to pull from, it's wonderful. Now, one thing that I have to tell, that is the hutch, which is full of a bunch of things, and so we have named this piece of furniture Starsky. So Starsky and hutch. But let me show you inside Starsky here. You know, lots of different types of props, very seasonal. Yeah, sky's the limit here at this house. So I've got the props, I've got the ideas from around the house, but I have one more thing that I need to do. I need to make a run to the grocery store because there's going to be a couple of food items that I think need to prop this thing. I've been thinking about this for a while. I'll probably just do some vegetables or something. We'll see what I can find in the produce department. Things that you would use this knife to dice, slice, whatever. But I don't want to pick anything that's going to distract from the subject matter itself, but just to prop it. So I got to do a quick little grocery store run, and then we'll get started putting this whole thing together. Okay, I'm back from the grocery store. I got 3 items that I think should work really well. Now it's back to the studio to get this going. If you notice, I'm completely starting from scratch because I've been on location doing jobs for a while, but let me show you a couple things that I have pulled from the house to use to get started. I've got these boards that'll probably be the base of what the set will be put on. And then I've got, this is how many cutting boards my wife had, and I didn't even pull all the ones she had. These are just simply ones that are kind of in one of the Hutch or Starsky that we don't even use, but certainly a lot of character, and I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but they've got all the cut marks on them. They're going to be great. Got a napkin, and that will be a great start to the entire thing. So I'm going to get the whole set going. I'm going to get some lights up. Probably just use the Godox, the little ones. They're the most convenient rather than dragging out the big strobe system, which you can see I had the strobes out the other day. We were shooting class photos at a school, but I think I'm going to go with the little lights. It'll be easier. We'll see where it goes from there. Let me show you guys real quick what I'm doing here for my main light. I'm putting up a scrim, and then I've got the AD100 firing into it, and I can move this light, of course, in relationship to where it's at to the scrim, whether it's closer, farther, higher, lower, whatever. But let me turn the modeling light on here. Now, why I've got a scrim as opposed to a softbox or a bare light or whatever, I've said this before, but product photography is more about what type of light source you're reflecting into the product as opposed to the light you're shining on it. So I've got a simple mirror in here, and I don't know how well we're going to be able to see this on camera, but if I have kind of a gradient light, let's see, if I'm kind of like this, I've got this gradient light source going across my subject as opposed to just reflecting a softbox, which would be even corner to corner. Let me flip this over where it's got a chrome surface and see how it kind of gradates off. It's hot in the middle and it gradates off to a darker area. That's because what the light is, it's hot in the middle and gradates off. That's why I'm using the scrim to kind of give that more gradient dimensional light on a shiny metal object. Let me show you something real quick. There is the company logo. I really had seen this shot go in the other direction, but now that I see the logo like that, I think we're gonna have to shoot it kind of something like this, which it should look really nice. And if you notice, as far as a shiny metal object, right in here, not super reflective. This is gonna be reflective. The handle, even though it's a dark wood, is gonna have a nice reflection on it. And you can see even without the modeling light on, you know, we've got that nice, even highlight all the way along there. But I gotta make sure I get all these lines going in the right direction. Right now they're almost parallel to the knife, so a little tweaking as far as the angles so that the composition is nice and pretty, but we're going in the right direction. This is gonna be awesome. Okay, so there's the initial shot. Now one thing I gotta watch out for, let's see if I can point these out. Right there's a tangent. On the very front tip of the blade, it's barely touching the line in the board. That's a tangent. So I got a lot of little things I gotta tweak here to get everything just right. As far as, if you don't know what a tangent is where two lines like barely touch. They don't really cross each other. They don't miss each other. They just barely touch. And I got kind of a lot of that going on right here. So we'll fix all that. I think the handle of the cutting board maybe should come into it a little bit. Once I get that, we'll do the props. The lighting is actually pretty darn close. Maybe a fill card or a mirror in there to kind of bounce a little light around, but that's pretty darn close. So tweak from here. This might be a simpler shot than I thought. I'm loving the way the blade itself looks. I think I'll put a light on this side and add a little bit more control as far as that is concerned. Probably put the grid as well as some barn doors so that I can control it. Just want to have a little light skimming across there to give it some interest and some depth. One thing that's a little bit tricky when it comes to, people call it a flat lay or a lay down, where you're laying the subject straight down on a flat surface. One of the things that's hard is to create some depth because there's no distance there. You're not having any light wrapping from behind. So creating a little bit of depth is a little bit of a challenge. Another trick from my household items that I have, and I've done this on this channel before. I've got these cool glasses that I'm going to bring out, put in front of the lights, create some cool shadows. Let's see. Yeah. I've got several of those. I've several as in like 4. So we'll grab most of these. Be able to add some neat light and shadows as the light goes through these cool glasses. That'll be neat. We'll control where the light goes. Then we'll put in those vegetable props at the end. It's working out very quickly and very well. So very happy with what's happening here. Let me show you where this is at. Okay, there's the latest shot with. You can see the glasses down there in front of that second light. This is with it. It's very subtle, you can't really tell, but there it is without it. See how much brighter the napkin is? Just gave it a little bit of interest. Alright, let me show you guys this. I've actually done, if I just shut up and do things, I seem to do better. So what I ended up doing was raising the light, because if you notice, the bottom part of that blade really shines when I'm low like this. I like the angle I'm at, so I raised the light so that I could get that correct angle. And look at how I lit up the bottom part of that blade a little bit better. And I may actually move my angle ever so slightly, but that changed a lot of things. See, there's where I was at. Much more dramatic now. So maybe I need to stop talking about what I'm doing and just do it. Okay, change the angle a little bit. Stop talking. Get it the way I like it. We'll be there. moment. Top left corner, we'll do an onion. I think that might be it. No knife that'll work?
I mean, this one's the one that worked the best is one that I already used for the. Oh, that's pretty good. You ready?
Yeah. Leaving me one big, huge half is maybe good too.
All right.
These pieces are probably great.
This knife isn't super sharp either. It's not.
All right, well, we'll make that work. Make him cut the onion for the shot. That's pretty funny. He did a good job, though. Final image. Final image, I think. Okay, guys, let me do a quick recap here. I have changed the angle of this camera just a little bit. I came down a little bit, and I think I like that a little bit better. When it gets to the final edit, we'll see which one I like better. I may show you guys both, and you guys can choose. But I ended up at f10. I've got the camera set at 160 ISO, 2/50th of a second. Got the little V1 going over here. I can't remember what I was at. Half power on this guy, and then the 80-100 is going through the scrim as I showed you before. But here is the set itself. Pretty simple as far as propping. I've got two little mirrors doing their thing over here. And of course I showed you guys the glasses that light was shining through to give some neat effects and shadows coming through. But there's the final set. Okay, so that's a wrap. I think it was a pretty successful shoot, and I have to admit to you guys that when I get to doing a shot like this, and I'm trying to make a video of it at the same time, one of the problems that I have, and I've just not gotten used to it, I guess, is I concentrate so much on the video that I tend to lapse a little bit on the things of the photograph. Now, I've been doing photography for so long, and I guess I've just, think I've got that covered, that I need to concentrate on the video, and I end up doing some things with the photo that it's like, ooh, I missed that. So I lowered the angle down a little bit, and I'm really glad that I did that, because I was just kind of going with my initial thought, and I think I kind of like the lower angle first, but I'm going to show you both. I said I was going to show you both, but here's both images. Here's the more straight down version, and then second I'll show you the a little bit lower angle, and you guys tell me what you think. Initially I thought I liked the second version, the lower version. Now that I'm seeing it in the camera, I'm torn. I like them both. Let me know what you guys think about the angles. Which one do you like better or worse? I will say that both of these, except for some simple retouching, some dust and some scratches, some things like that, both of these images are straight out of the camera. The Fuji colors on this, I've got it set at daylight balanced. I meant to tell you that I do manual focusing when I do product photography. That's just so much easier. I don't need the camera doing any thinking for me when it's a set subject like that that's not moving. But daylight balance, this is straight out of the camera. The colors are phenomenal. It's just on point. So big thumbs up to Fuji and how that works. Obviously I shoot it in RAW. My only thing is, which angle do I like better? Really like the shot, really excited to give this gift to my son, see what he thinks, and it's kind of fun to fool him to think that he was part of the video when he didn't even know it was kind of about him in the first place. But all that to be said, let me know what you think. I hope I inspired you guys a little bit to get out and do some more product photography to build up your portfolio for sure. And if you got questions, as always, let me know in the comments. If you got comments, I'd love to hear that as well. Like the video if you would, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. But I thank you guys so much for watching, and you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.